Okay, well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared. It is July 12th, 2022, and let's take a look at what is on deck uh, as we get started this morning. So, all in all, catalyst-wise, market is certainly waiting on a bit of information dropping tomorrow, more notably the CPI data. We're likely to see maybe some low participation today until that data does arrive. And usually with that, we tend to see a little bit lower volatility, potentially trading around a key price area that obviously will be yet to be seen. But there is some information that kind of indicates a wait and see behavior for the open today, along with what to expect for the market movement. When we look at the S&Ps in this location, we can start to put together a couple of base cases relative to trend lines, relative to some of our recent behavior, and also just what we've been discussing, which is the higher value zones that are located in this region. So yesterday was a pullback day. We have ended a 4-day advance on the S&Ps that essentially created higher highs and higher lows. Bulls were um giving up close to a resistance zone. This is where the S&Ps topped out on the most recent relative low, basically the absolute low of this year. The highs of that reaction are a guide as to where our resistance zone lies in the S&P. And when we look at this region, there's sort of your um, after hours and pre-market highs, and there's a bit of a base low in this area before we sold off. So this region of the S&P is a zone that we expect initial resistance to be encountered on any rally that we face. The S&Ps did enter into that region on Friday. There was a bit of a stall in the overall bullish momentum that can usually be seen on hourly time frames when you start to lose things like your hourly moving averages. And though this trend was not necessarily well established on the hourly, took it a couple of sessions to basically connect to the 20 and establish the 20 as support. The breakdown from last week essentially started our hourly downtrend along with our daily consolidation. Now, when we look at this region from price movement, those concepts are fairly straightforward to understand. Are we in an hourly uptrend or downtrend? Is the daily uptrend or downtrend starting to be tested? Have we stopped a rally? Base concepts based on prices, accepting or rejecting, moving through key areas, and essentially doing something repetitive until they stop. Usually when you have a rally, the easiest thing to say is as long as you keep making higher highs and higher lows, then ultimately every day is a day of advance until that stops. The S&P, continues on that rally until the top is formed. Now, when we look at sort of this short-term behavior and compare it to what we've looked at previously, which is our volume profile of this region, you'll note that the upper supply zone that we tested last week, this region of the S&P where the market changed its bias, this was an area to consider profit taking if you had caught any of the previous rally. The reason being is we are still trying to recover certain trending behavior. And right now our trend line so far is speculative, but it is attached to these lower price levels. Additionally, if you look at volume profile, you're noticing things like VPOC, which sits currently on the S&P about 376.54. So all of these reasons, along with some of the catalysts this week, can drive market participants to behave in certain ways. Certainly, if you're short term, you're playing towards high to low areas of supply and demand. We're obviously kind of speculating where the next stronger bounce reaction may occur. And if you know where we are this morning, we're somewhere in between these regions. It's also notable to see behavior in this price range where you'll notice a lot of back and forth trade that has occurred over time. Instead of seeing long or wide buy and sell swings, whether it be wide candle extensions or just the size of the move, this region, unfortunately, is not a great place for that to occur. It tends to be more of a value zone in regards to transactional value. And just like always, we're kind of asserting here that it's possible for the S&P to trade relatively non-directional, given that this is what has happened previously. One area that's really convincing for this is actually the intraday session that occurred, 2 Wednesdays ago. This particular zone was intraday, so it kind of avoids the after hours and pre-market bias, which tends to be lower volume and can kind of deceive where value truly lies. But it also set up the high end of our larger volume node. So if bulls are going to defend this, they need to basically trade sideways and establish this as a higher value zone than our VPOC. Otherwise, the market is prone to potentially retest VPOC and come in, obviously hitting some other trend line based support levels. Now, that of course is a very short-term view of the S&P. When we look at what sectors might actually provide a positive or negative benefit for us today, we want to kind of see what yesterday looked like, because we did pull back. Was that pullback highly correlated? Did we see the entire S&P marketplace selling, or was it more concentrated in certain areas? If you're looking at a heat map of the S&P 500 based on yesterday's performance, a lot of our weakness came from heavy market cap names. This is your NASDAQ-oriented types of names, your tech, consumer discretionary, and communication services, along with some standouts that, from a company perspective, are still heavy in market cap. So one of our worst performers, especially from market cap perspective, was Tesla yesterday, down approximately 6.5%. But we also had a lot of just core weakness in Google and Amazon, very strong, just negative bias in NVIDIA. And if you compare your larger names, which were down, these were not necessarily driving the move to the downside, but they were overall underperforming. While the S&Ps did pull back yesterday, the tune about 2%, Microsoft and Apple were part of that behavior. When you look across the rest of the market, now weakness is not really evident. For the most part, other sectors are relatively flat. Some performing, some underperforming. Overall correlation coefficient is poor in regards to the rest of the marketplace or the rest of the sectors in the S&P. And this is one area to kind of consider why we could trade a bit choppy today. Obviously, that can change very quickly, but the information we got yesterday is that the marketplace is likely not making key decisions as of yet. We'll need a little bit more of a directional bias, whether it be technical, volatility related, or potentially correlation driven, in order to consider a directional trade, basically to call bull or bear for the next move of the S&Ps. Once again, just bringing up the S&P expected move. We're nowhere near these bounds, so that's obviously still on deck. If we are still pulling back, it'd be ideal for the market to pull into this 3,800 region. And this would kind of align with our pre-market pricing, along with that Wednesday session where the S&P was trading essentially non-directional or flat, and with a low spread. So some things that continue to be on deck: dollar strength. This breakout, for the moment is in focus. We do have sort of a measured move for this breakout over the next couple of weeks, likely going to peak out around the 110 area. So we're obviously going to wait and see how this forms. And obviously the momentum here is putting a lot of pressure on currency pairs. One of the big news items that came out this morning is that we do have, at least short term, let me take this off. We do have Euro USD parity with both currency pairs trading equivalent to about 1-to-1. So it's putting a lot of, the dollar strength is putting pressure in our foreign currency pairs. This is also true of the Swiss franc, but this parity has been in place for a while, with obviously some different factors, given that it is regionally different than the euro. But one of our major currency pairs showing parity here, not necessarily indicative of certain types of trade until this starts to rebound or possibly break down even further. The trend being our guide for this this parity breaking down further. Okay. Another note for today, we do have crude still continuing its spot pricing decline. We saw that the trend line on crude had broken down last week. We were looking to see, is this going to just slide into our support zones? I would argue that approximately 90 per spot crude, at least for /CL, would be appropriate for a support bounce. However, before that can occur, typically you do have some back testing. This is trending, but does have wave structure. So it isn't necessarily a pure sell-off. It does have, sort of days up, days down. And this back test right now is kind of in focus for crude. If the trend line truly is going to be no longer respected and basically act as our resistance point from this point forward, this will need to make fresh lows from this point. So a little bit of energy weakness in crude, and you pair that with natural gas strength, at least this morning. So our energy market, from our asset class perspective, is showcasing sort of a +1 and a -1, possibly a mixture of performance today if the equity side is going to perform anything like the asset side. So nat gas strength, crude weakness, we'll see how that takes place today for energy. Overall, energy still continues to be downtrending, but we're getting some stronger, back and forth reactions off of the 200, kind of waiting to see if this continues to be a support zone or if they actually want to do something new in regards to the size of this sell swing. And if you pair the heat map view of the S&P compared to what we've been discussing with healthcare, healthcare is testing its larger range VPOC. So this is about where I would expect the bounce to stall. It's also hitting the 200-day moving average from below. So it's a moment in time for this market to essentially make a choice. Pullbacks here could likely be bought. They might be a little deeper than expected, especially if we see marketplace weakness abound. But this has been a very strong recovery. So we're kind of keeping an open mind here. It's just not the most ideal spot for new trade, especially since we could stay in this location for quite a while. So your bullish scenario here is that the healthcare sector stalls, doesn't necessarily have any sort of directional bias, and that keeps the S&P, at least from market cap weighting, in a zone of indecision, keeps things elevated to a certain degree. You pair that with financials. Obviously, financials are coming out with earnings this week, so the volatility of financials is likely going to be baked into some of our earnings reactions. And we have stocks like JP Morgan kind of kicking us off, Citi and Bank of America. All of these names are going to be the ones that really drive the financial volatility going into next week. A few things you can do is say, okay, if that's true, what are your top holdings in financials? From the banking perspective, JP, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, almost always forget Wells Fargo, and Citi. Those are the ones that are coming out soonest. You can also look at XLF volatility based on expected move. So for now, pricing in XLF is actually a bit low. They're not really, we're not really seeing that volatility hit until next week, where the implied volatility is indicative of some of the moves expected for our banking sector. So at least for Friday of next week, the market's pricing about a $2.50 expected move for XLF. Remember, just like the S&P, that's $2.50 higher or lower. We'll obviously need to see how the banks respond. When you do that analysis and maybe pair it with your banking volatility analysis, your expected moves for the banks, this is Tuesday, so this can easily change very aggressively as we get closer to the report. But for now, JP Morgan looking at about a $5 expected move. We're opening up today at about 112. That puts us close to about 107 downside and about 117 upside. You kind of pair that with where people are trading this particular series in the option market, and you want to see, okay, is it more bullish leaning or bearish leaning relative to open interest? At least for now, at a glance, I would say that 120 certainly stands out on the call side. It's one of our higher open interest nodes for the earnings series. But you look downside and you can see that the puts, at least down to 105, are still somewhat high or elevated. With 100, of course, being that psychological gravitational zone for people to trade. I won't necessarily go through all of them. They're all going to have different readings, and this is something you can do as we get closer to their respective earnings. But you do this across your banking sector, whether it be Thursday or Friday report, and you start to look and see how are these expected moves looking so far, who's trading heavier, what side of the market are heavier open interest starting to be transacted, and you kind of get a little sense of where the market is maybe pricing both pre-earnings and into earnings for these moves. Bank of America, about $1.20. Their earnings coming out on Monday of next week. Yeah, Monday. And then Citi, this is Friday. Overall, about 2.25. I'd look at this a little closer to that Friday report. But start noticing where these nodes of interest are. This particular name trades pretty heavy open interest side, so you're looking for standouts. You have things like potential spreads being opened, call and put. And these are things you can almost monitor actively throughout the session to see where large money is placing their bets. Is it long? Is it short? Is it speculative? Is it closer to at the money? And obviously the bias of what your technicals are saying. These financial stocks are in essentially pure and core downtrends. We're looking for something a bit different, as they have been drawn to their bull market gaps. A lot of them have basically reverted back to where they started the move last year. JP Morgan, back to the gap. Bank of America, maybe a little bit more elevated. This one didn't pull back as far. And Wells Fargo. The gap actually started back here. So Wells Fargo had a much wider run, has not really given back the entire move quite yet. So all in all, the thesis that I'm kind of proposing today is a little bit of a wait and see. Our gappers list this morning, little light overall, so it's very likely that we won't have a lot of key stocks in play until the rest of the market can start to get some sort of bias. Obviously, as I've been talking, this can change very quickly, so you want to monitor what the pre-market is stating. But overall, we're opening down, we're establishing some pre-market lows. We have our hourly downtrend as a guide, but the first bounce that we get this morning is where you want to see, are we going to continue our pullback, our daily pullback into 380, possibly even into VPOC if we sell off harder? Or is this a day for the market to just kind of churn this price level? Definitely not unforeseen, and certainly not something that you want to trade aggressively without more information. I guess last but not least, I brought up the idea of some volatility analysis this week. Just want to keep things kind of clear as to what I'm looking at and what could possibly trigger some movement. Once again, VIX technicals, kind of a shaky area of analysis, but trends are trends. VIX is overall respecting this trend line on reactions, and so far we haven't truly lost this trend line quite yet. I do believe that CPI data will likely turn this into another bounce or potentially a full breakdown if CPI comes in maybe unexpected. That'll drive larger market movement and larger market participation. There really hasn't been too many signs of people hedging. This is volatility of the VIX or VVIX. You want to think of, are people paying extra premium to be hedged? Are they willing to pay up for protection, especially in regards to the S&P futures and the 30-day volatility pricing? Haven't really seen too much reaction here. Bit of a slower kind of move to the downside, and most of the market participation here is fairly low. Finally, vol futures still not necessarily in any state of concern, but we just have an elevated and a fairly insignificant spread between your short and medium term contracts, August to September. If this were to go flat or back into backwardation, that typically would be more of a bearish signal for the market. Once again, need some information here for the market to really make a choice. So as we look at today, consider from the day trading side, what your strategy might be today. If we don't have a clear direction, I think arguably as a trader, you might want to look at strategies that benefit from it, whether it be shorter term range trading, potentially looking at a little bit of scalping. If you have that in your trade book, that can be opportunistic on days like this. And if our range is wide enough, certainly don't expect too much in regards to long or drawn out moves, trends that basically have a lot of potential. Unless we get clear breakouts or breakdowns, the market structure here is not indicative of that. And even though we are gapping down slightly, this area has been established already. It's not like a new price is being discovered. So all that said, let's see how the market shakes out today. Obviously willing to be proven wrong, but the market needs that information, needs to give it to us before we can make a choice. And with all that said, my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. Trade safe today. Consider your strategy, and let's see if anything kind of new comes out of our market open. So stay tuned for pre-market prep.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PreMarket Prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How's our volume, guys? Because Carlos sounds a little bit light to me, but that could just be me.
It could be on my I see my volume is very
All
loud.
right,
Okay,
there we go.
that's a little better. All right, guys, welcome. Hopefully you had an incredible day. Let's get started here, guys. Let's take a look at our gappers list this morning. We'll start there. As you can see, a little bit in the green so far. A couple of names that we know very well. Peleton, Red Box is on here. Indo and GLSI. So we got a couple of things happening there, but for the most
It's like
part,
this is a Saturday Night Live skit of the pre-market show, isn't it?
oh yes, looking at those tickers on that green side of things, absolutely. Let's get our epic pen here. Start that up. Here we go. And over on the red side, guys, we got a couple on here. Also, a lot more. Obviously, the market slightly down this morning, not by a lot. There's just slightly. We did have a red day, yes, after having a couple of green rallies there. But slightly down this morning. You can see a couple of names in here, which, by the way, don't look great right now. So I don't see anything exciting in this gappers list, but we hope that it can get better as we move forward here. So with that said, Norm, what is the latest and greatest on the overall market?
I think we're in a little bit of a holding pattern. Jared spoke about this. You can see the SPYs kind of in this range on the daily, but we've got big inflation data coming out tomorrow. We really don't have anything exceptional today. Richmond Fed president speaks later. We had small business index earlier. We've got CPI data coming out tomorrow, which they're already bracing for the highest number we've seen in the last year and a half. So it's anticipated to rise year over year, 8 to 8.8%. That was 8.6% the previous month, which was high. If it comes in higher than 8.8, I don't even know how the market will react. It'll be interesting. And then we start earnings on Thursday. So we're Tuesday. We're summer trading to begin with. We've got earnings starting in 2 days. We've got CPI data tomorrow that everybody's been freaking out over inflation and everything else. So I think we're kind of, of course there are going to be things out there, and we'll mention a few coming up, but I think we're in a little bit of a holding pattern for the moment. So
yeah, could not disagree with you more. Could not agree with you more on that. I think that is the case for sure. All right, guys, let's take a look at our gappers list this morning. Let's see what's gapping up today. Did you have any crazy earnings or good earnings last night? I know we started, but it's a little bit on the. I didn't see anything great.
Earnings. There's a couple, but earnings don't really start until the banks start, and that is Thursday
Friday,
morning.
Right? Thursday morning.
Thursday
Okay,
morning,
perfect. Yeah. So we'll take a look at Thursday morning. All right, here we go. So let's take a look at our gappers list this morning, guys. Let's start here with first of all, let's remove the stuff we had yesterday. Control A. Control X is going to give rid of that, and I'm going to go straight to it because I know I forgot to do it this morning. Is let me link my trade idea. So we can do that by going to Tools, External Linking. This little pop-up will come up, and you can add link. Take your mouse over to the montage, and that is going to link your trade idea. So once that's done, we can click here, and we can get things to populate anywhere we want where there's a field. And you can do that with just anywhere, not only on a Daytrading Pro. Anywhere where you can type in, you can do that link. So here's Indo this morning, up 42.6, which is actually not bad, 43%. It isn't a stock sitting on the American Stock Exchange, and usually these tickers sitting in this exchange don't trade the best. They're very funky in their price action. This one, looking at it now, it looks actually pretty decent, Norm. Do we have any news on Indo?
Yeah, absolutely. So, this is not my favorite. This is an Indonesian oil and gas company with a 1.7 million share float. That's via FinViz. 2 million on Trade Ideas. So depending on your data stream, it's still extremely small. They found a natural gas deposit, possibly.
Okay, that could be good.
I would be very careful with this.
with the news sources and information, absolutely, guys. Low flow, that's very active. You have to be careful no matter what. It's just like you mentioned, Norm, very low flow at 2 million, a little bit of a high interest. So just be mindful of this, guys, as you're trading this. Next down the list, we do have GLSI this morning. This looks no good at all, so we're just gonna skip right down to the next one. Let's see the 5-minute. Yeah, this is a horrible intraday action, and a pre-market action, and a horrible daily as well. So let's move on down. Peleton is up 6%. Well, this doesn't look that good after you look at what happened yesterday, right? If you look what happened yesterday, got crushed from 10 all the way down to 8. So we're up 6% now, but it's not really a big deal.
Well,
What was the news yesterday?
they've got a pretty big catalyst.
Yeah.
So this morning they've come out and announced that they are going to quit their in-house manufacturing of their bike, and it's going to be somebody I believe they already work with, Taiwanese manufacturing, so offshoring production should help rein in some costs. Market's liking it for the moment, but as you mentioned, this has been a bit of a raging dumpster fire for the last 18 months at this point. So you're on mute, brother.
Sorry about that. This thing was trading at 130, 130, 120.
Higher than that,
the highs.
160.
You have 160 even before that? Man, wow. Down at $9. I mean, guys, just talk about getting crushed here. I mean, they had a nice pop during the COVID, right? People working out from home and this and that. But I mean, they dropped so bad after that. Even more after of the lows that they had during the pandemic. So it's just horrible.
They make exercise bikes.
I know, expensive ones, not cheap. Very expensive exercise bikes, which are really nice. I've been on. I don't have one, but I've been on one. They're really well made. But yeah, it's a tough.
I've got
tough
one.
gig.
It's great.
Oh, you got one, right? So you know how well. Yeah.
My wife uses it every day. I probably use it 3 days a week.
Yeah, it's a very, very good machine. So here's Peleton, guys. Again, their business is just not working out right now. Up 5.7, but again, that's kind of tempered a little bit because of the drop they had yesterday. But a big catalyst. Let's see what happens. I tend to like Peleton sometimes. Today could be the day for 138,000 at this price range of 9 something. We haven't really found good trading. Let's hope today we can get something going out of here. All right, next on the list here we have a red box, which again, not gonna waste no time on this, guys. I think this stock is pure garbage. I mean, let's move on. I think I spent too much time on it already. KSPN.
You just no to yourself.
You just no myself quickly on this one. Guys, if you haven't done so already, by the way, let's give a thumbs up for Jared joining every morning 8 a.m. Eastern time with Injury in the Markets. Let's make sure we do that. We appreciate it very much. Hopping over here on KSPN. This one, crazy day yesterday, going from $2 over to about $7.50 or so. Today we're down 17%. The flow on this thing is 1.1 million. I mean, this just spells danger all over the place. So I will be very careful. Just want to see how it actually did yesterday. So again, just look at this intraday action. Nothing happening. Volume starts coming in. And you do get some decent volume, a nice rip here. But again, I'm always concerned with stocks that do this type of action the second day. It just doesn't look fun. No shares for sure. Just be very careful. I'm not even going to add this to my list as a possible or anything. PLRX was on the list yesterday. This thing took off, as you saw here. It did a lot of its move, well, half of its move in the pre-market. It had a beautiful pre-market. It did continue to the market open, at least for the first couple of half hour, maybe an hour or so. Then from there, it went flat. Today, they're down 3.3. Second days after such a pop like this can be very tricky to trade. We know that from seeing many stocks do this in a crazy move. So just be careful today. If they get above 23.24 and they're going to be ripping here, it could be exciting, but just be very mindful.
We'll note too.
Yeah.
While it's shortable, there's very, very, very limited short interest on our short available shortable shares. Like showing 6,000 with IB. So.
Yeah, I'm saying showing the same thing, right? IB 6,000. So not ideal.
I'm not recommending shorting it by any means either, but
right.
I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
A lot
so
of
if you
people
try to hit a
look
short,
at the S, see it's shortable, and it might not be there.
Yeah. And that doesn't that's not like real time getting updated. So for example, like right now there could be less and you wouldn't know about it. It'll update as you go. I forgot which one was it yesterday. We were showing like 3,000, and by the time the market opened, it was already gone, right? So if you try to,
is nothing. Yeah, that can be one person.
Yep. So if you see S on there and you try to hit it and you don't get filled, it's going to your broker, and your broker say, hey, we don't have it, so it's coming back as rejected, right? So just keep that in mind. There's nothing wrong with your DAS or anything like that. It's just no inventory. So PRX, guys, very careful. I think there might be some opportunities here if this thing can get going to the upside. Towards the downside, be very careful. Even if you have shares for sure, very careful with that one. VERU, good day yesterday, 13 to 15.15 here. So not bad. We did not have this on our list. Probably got going after the bell. Yeah, we go after the bell here. Beautiful breakout. Seems to have traded very well. If you guys remember, this thing popped up a while ago back in April and then just been pretty wild since then. So not sure what to expect now. Usually after you have a good day, you have a bad day, right? So notice here, every time you had a nice little run, you have a bad day. So I'm going to expect that it's going to do the same thing today. Probably have a bad day and not be as tradable. And also the volume dies down a lot. If you look at the volume here and here, the following days, the volume dies down quite a bit. So I expect the same is going to happen today. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not going to add it. If you guys see something great on it, throw it back out to us. But right now, not looking all that good for us. So here's Oxy. And the news, they got downgraded, right? Was it yesterday or last week? I forget the catalyst on Oxy, but they are down again, another 30.1 here. So this is getting very interesting. You do have a couple of really good levels towards the bottom here. So I like Oxy. I know the pre-market action is not looking all that great, but that can get better as we move forward here. So we'll add Oxy to the list here. How, HAL, do we have earnings? Because usually the only time we see how is with earnings, but maybe not, could be wrong.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Yes.
This
So
one just doesn't trade very well. I don't
no,
really look very closely at it.
yeah, it trades horrible. I mean, down 3%, but again, just no volume, not really much to see here. All right, guys, that is our gappers list. Again, not a lot that looks great. Oxy, Peleton as possible, and a couple of really risky low floats down here that you got to be extremely careful with. So, Norm, anything you like this morning?
Yeah, my pick of the day is Canoe. Go EV. GOEV is the
EV.
ticker. EV
Ooh.
manufacturer. This one used to be on the list a lot higher in the past. I will say it's a $4 ticker. I don't usually trade those. 18 million shares traded this morning so far. They have a deal with Walmart for 4,500 delivery vehicles, and I don't know if you can pull up a browser quickly.
Yeah, you could.
But if you pull up, because everybody needs a laugh, Google Canoe, CANOO truck, and let's look at a picture of this bad boy that we're going to get to see 4,500 up to 10,000 more if they like the deal. Just go to the go to images or something.
This is it right here?
Yeah, we're going to get to see possibly 10 to 15,000 of these babies roaming around with Walmart.
Now this will be
all over this side.
a delivery.
Yeah, it's a clown car, right?
I don't see it.
Interesting.
Yeah, is it all electric? Yeah, all electric. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be interesting. Oh man,
Anyway.
the EV area is pretty interesting. We're still waiting for
The other
Cybertruck.
one I've got is I don't know which one looks worse. I know I'll get haters on the Cybertruck deal, but Pepsi also, they had earnings this morning. They generally trade pretty poorly intraday, but I figured I'd at least mention it since there's not a whole lot else going on.
Yeah. We'll put it as a apostle for now. I know some people will be watching this one. I know David from Connecticut, they mentioned it in the comments here, but good volume this morning compared to what they usually do. But again, guys, in the intraday, they're just not the best. That's for sure. Let's take it to our chat, guys. What do you guys like this morning? Go EV, definitely in place. That's a real good one this morning, guys. Looking real nice. So thank you, Norm, for that one. Oxy is good as well. We have that on deck. Pepsi we have. Let's see what else. All right, so it looks like a lot of stuff you guys threw out here we kind of covered already. Peleton. Yeah, Chris MC. Yeah, Peleton does suck to trade. I think there could be some potentials. Who knows? But it's one of those love or hate. They're either going to be really good or just extremely bad. And most times they're extremely bad, right? So you got once in a while they can do something pretty nice, but we'll see. On a day like today where we have space, right? Because there's not a whole lot here. You can watch Peleton as a secondary, but it's tough to watch at times. I agree. American Airlines, Maribeth, I don't see anything great on it right now. Starting to get going, it looks like, right? You got 600,000. Maybe if we can get moving here, that could be nice. The airlines have been a tough trade, right? You see the daily chart here. They've been very, very choppy, not getting as much volume. After this drop, they really haven't been trending. They're just kind of going sideways, and this is tough for traders unless you're going to go the range, right? Here we went the range, that's good. Here we went the whole range, that's good. But for the most part, if you're getting these really small days, your opportunity is very small because on top of that, they don't move a whole lot, right? What's this here, 50 cents, right? That's not a big movement on a stock that's like American Airlines. So to get days like these, they don't happen often. And this is when you get the really good trading. We haven't seen that a lot in the last couple of days. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and see on that one, but definitely not on my list right now. All right, let's see. Chris MC. Let's see what else we have. So that's American Airlines, AMD. Yeah, I will probably watch AMD and some of these tech companies. AMD already looking pretty good here. 700,000, a lot more volume than we saw yesterday around this time. So yeah, AMD will make our list. Let's take a look at the rest of the usual suspects. Apple. Apple's good actually. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just kind of following the spot. I'm going to throw out one more
Yeah.
that I don't know why it is not on the gappers list. It should be based on the criteria. So I don't know what's missing here, but GPS Gap stores.
GPS.
Go
Okay.
get your mom jeans, Carlos. But
Yeah.
the CEO's leaving after 2 years because unfortunately this is a dumpster fire that can't be turned around.
Yeah, this is it's just so bad. Why is this not on our gappers list? You're absolutely right.
I don't know.
Maybe the ATR has gotten so bad now.
Oh yeah, there you go.
ATR. Wow, we're missing it by 2 cents. It should still
2
be on our
cents.
list.
Yeah,
yeah,
that fit.
yeah. This is really good, guys. I like Gap right now. That's a great catalyst. Down 7%, 192,000, which actually for an IC stock, this is great volume, especially for Gap. So. Not bad. Definitely on our list this morning.
Look at me coming in with 2 tickers under $10
Yeah,
this
man.
morning.
Look
What
at
did
you.
I have not even been drinking.
Both under $10. That's a record.
That's how quiet this morning is.
It is very quiet, my friends. Yes, it is. Let's take a look here at some other ones that we'll get to our community events and announcement. PSHT. I don't think I've ever seen that ticker because it's not a ticker. PSHT. Yeah, not sure what that is. Trader Blake, just double check that. Let's get down here. Go EV is on deck. GPS is on deck. Good. You guys are mentioning some of the stuff that we already have here. ARKK. This is ARK, right? What is this up to? Popping up a little bit today, up slightly in the green. Not a ticker I like to trade. But this is up today. Apple's daily looks interesting. I agree. I have it on deck. It looks good, even pre-market. Fabio, you're giving us Mara and AMC. I'm not a fan of Mara, and I'm looking at it now. I don't see anything great neither. Let's take a look at AMC. AMC, I mean, it's got to get memeing here, right? It's got to get going. They need another Top Gun type movie. What's this Thor in Love? Was this Thor in Love here that did this? Probably. I mean, there's just, I don't know. It could be hit or miss. I don't see anything great right now at the moment. So, and Tesla, you mentioned Tesla? Someone mentioned Tesla. Someone else. Let's take a look. Yeah, Tesla is interesting alongside Twitter. We're gonna keep an eye on Twitter as well. Tesla could be good. It's funny, Tesla's going up, and probably because Elon Musk is getting out of that Twitter mess. Twitter here could be interesting. Huge red day yesterday. And they're just getting crushed.
There's a lot more Twitter mess to come. It's going to last a long time.
Did you see that post that he put out there where now, they didn't want to reveal the bots to him, but now they got to do it to the courts? Dude, this guy is, I'm telling you, you don't need Netflix anymore. Just go on Twitter and follow Elon Musk and you'll have a blast. All right, guys.
President Trump called him but did you see that? Now they're getting into it a little bit.
No, I didn't see that one. I did not see that one. What happened?
Trump called him a bullshit artist.
Uh-huh. Did he respond? I'm sure he responded.
Yeah, I can't remember what he said. He said he should sail off into the sunset or something. He's too old to be president, and the maximum age to be president should be 69.
These guys, man. It's fun. It's fun. Guys, with that said, we got a pretty okay list. Let's get to our community events and announcements. We'll come back and fine tune this list in just a second.
All right, guys. Technology. Guys, this is onboarding and technology with Carlos is going to be moving back to its time slot. We used to have it in 8 p.m. on Monday nights. That'll be effective next Monday. So check that out if you're a new member. If you're on a trial membership, you are more than welcome to attend that. It is open to everybody. And then Tuesday, tonight, We have got Thor. Thor's going to be talking about market theory. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern. Next week, Artie is going to be talking about options and day trading. Kreda tomorrow night, 5 p.m. because of her time zone. Note that special time, 5 p.m. Eastern. She's going to talk about imagining your way to trading success. And next week, Mike will be talking about how to set up a psychology training plan. Thursday, we've got mentorship every week. John at 11. Ed at 4. He'll have some earnings finally to get back into, and then his session really starts in earnest at 4:30. Thor at 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. Don't forget about StockTradingSimulator.com, our free web-based trading simulator, replay simulator, where you can go trade 24 hours a day. And actually, you can trade that day's markets just a little while after it's actually taken place. So an hour, 2 hours later, you'll be able to trade the morning. Don't forget about the PreMarket 24 promotion for the intro membership. If you'd like to try out the room, go to bearbulltraders.com, scroll down about halfway down the page. You'll see the membership table with that intro on the left. Click it. Use the promo code PreMarket24 to get the discount. 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room, and it does not auto-renew. It's not a recurring billing. It only bills you one time, then you have to choose to become a member if you'd like to. Also, Read 50, still active, half off the Elite Annual membership, which gives you access to all the webinars I was just discussing. And currently a free one-on-one coaching session with Dr. Kenneth Reed.
All right, thank you very much, Norm. Guys, let's get to our list here. So far, we have Oxy, GoEV, which is real nice this morning, very active. AMD we have on deck too. We also have Apple, which again, following the overall SPY, but still looking great this morning with some good volume. Daily looks amazing too on Apple. If you guys see this, trending very, very nicely here. We have GPS gapping down a 7.1, not a good catalyst for them there. And Tesla also trading very nice with some decent volume, 554. We've seen better, but that's not bad for the type of day that we are starting with. Some possibles here being mentioned is Peleton. Could get going here. It's up 5.1, so that's good after a nice red day yesterday. Pepsi had earnings this morning, and then we have Twitter. And Twitter, I might end up moving up here, depending how things go. I think Twitter could be a real nice one this morning. Had a great trading day yesterday. And I think that's going to continue to happen. Not as clean as it was yesterday. I think this is the first initial blow to it. We'll see how it develops from here. But man, has not been great. They're back at the lows before Elon came to the public light here, right? So if you look at this has been a good support area for Twitter. It was bouncing from there in the past. Then the Elon stuff came out. That's when you had this gap up here. And then from since then, it just has been extremely messy. So are we going to break down from these lows? It's going to be very interesting to see. But either way, I think we're going to have some really good increase in volume in the next couple of days here on Twitter. We're going to be having fun with that one. So, and of course, low floats towards the bottom. PLRX, again, extremely risky here. What's the floats for PLRX? PLRX is sitting at all right, so 26 million, but still be careful. I mean, this thing is moving, from $8 yesterday all the way up to 23. And then this morning 21 is the low already, and your high is 24. So you got a nice range there. It's moving very aggressive. And then Indo, of course, this one here up 36% with 4.3 million shares traded. This is a low flow too, sitting at 2 million shares flow with a high short interest, which is interesting for us as well. All right, let's get to some levels here, my friends. Let's look at Oxy. So Oxy is good. I like the drop we're getting here. They didn't do a whole lot yesterday, but it did gap down. Gapping down again today, 3%. And we see a clear level here on this low of the pre-market around 54.48. You do have a couple of days here trying to hold on to that level. If we were to lose that, you have a nice level here at 56.10. And then all the way down here, close to 54.41, another good level on there as well. Towards the top, even your highs of the pre-market is being covered by the low of yesterday. So that's pretty much set there. And then highs and lows for the last 2 trading days towards the top there, looking pretty good. Here's GoEV, man. This thing is on fire, has a great catalyst. You guys saw the truck, which just showed you a few minutes ago. And again, deal with Walmart, so that's a big thing for them. $4.31 is your high of your pre-market, and we tested that a couple of times this morning. We have 20 million shares traded on this thing, so volume is definitely there. Nice big pop for them, a 70% gap up this morning. Towards the bottom, we do have a level at 372. That's a good one to have there. In between here, minor area of support and resistance. It's also the whole dollar mark, so you are going to get some action on stocks that are at this price on that whole dollar mark. So you want to mark that down around $4 there. This could be a good level to have. Now, towards the top, if we can get going here, which I expect we will, that's a big catalyst for them. And anytime you partner up with such a giant like Walmart, you can have a really good reaction in the market, right? The key is, is this an overreaction now, up 75%, or do we have still some room to move forward here? Now, this stock in the past has been up to $6, right? As recent as February through April. So maybe that could be a possibility after we get into the intraday. So we'll have to see. Again, guys, very, very careful. Mind your number of shares. You do not need to take a boatload to make good money on this. You could take a couple of shares and just put your money, make your money on the run, not the size that you're taking. So very, very careful. 518, another area where we see a lot of support, a lot of resistance after. So that kind of changes there on both ends. So you want to have that there, 518. Clearly up here, it's going to be 623. But in between here, you have this 578. We'll draw a line right on there. You can see clearly, right? You got some support happening here, very clear resistance, right? So usually support becomes resistance and vice versa. And you're seeing that this thing flips back and forth a couple of times, right? That's could be 580, but I have it marked down as 578. So pretty good level towards the top, guys. In case we were to drop here, which at the moment we do not have any shares for sure with Interactive Brokers. A key level that I see as support is this 325 level. Good support happening there in case we were to drop and lose this 372. I don't see that happening right now. This thing continues to slam against this 430, trying to get above that 415 or so. We might have a breakout here into the market open, so looking forward to that. All right, here is AMD, our good buddy. Let's remove some of these older levels, because right now towards the bottom we do see our low from yesterday. Towards the top, you're pretty much set here, guys. Highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. We're not getting big moves like we were on AMD just a couple of weeks ago, right? Look at the daily here. Look how big these moves are. I mean, it's wild. Every day we were running what is this, 5-6%? It's just insane. We're not getting that right now. The days are a little bit smaller, and that's okay. Especially the last 5 days, a little bit smaller ranges on the daily candle. So I don't expect we're gonna break out of 81. So let's get some levels towards the bottom. I think you're set towards the top with the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. 73 is a good one, and just in case we take a little bit of a dive, 71.56, a good level right here as well. So you're set on AMD. Again, I don't expect big moves today unless the SPY or anything starts plugging away here. Apple in the red earlier on, all the way down to 143. So that's the low of the pre-market there, and has a rally all the way to 145.39. I mean, this thing is a pretty nice run here. High of the pre-market 45.59, and the pre-market's done really good there. And hold on, let me get rid of some levels first, and we'll mark this again. 143, 42, 41, and then towards the top 145.59, right? So that's your range there, highs and lows. Towards the top, again, I don't think you're going to get really big days on Apple as well. You got a couple of highs and lows there taking care of you towards the above the price. Below the price, we'll mark down 141, and then here, yeah, good level right over here at this 136.90. Right, might be 137. Good area there. You got resistance, and then a lot of support after you had this nice breakout towards the top here. So interesting there. Apple's daily looks very clean, guys. I do like the way that's forming there. Can we get a bounce off of this again? That would be nice. That'd be nice if we could do that. Here is GPS. We talked about this earlier. Let's read. Actually, we got levels on this already. Yeah, we were pretty good on GPS. We did this already. 895, 1081, 1160, and 1261. And then towards the bottom here, we do have 817, which our price is right on that level of support, right at 817. Low of the pre-market slightly below that at 807. So we'll slam a level there. And when was the last time we were down here? I know it's been some time. All right, let's go to the weekly. Let's go our weekly or monthly. Well, weekly is good. We're going back to 2020 March time frame. So on the weekly, 531. This was pandemic, right? Yeah, this is a pandemic drop here. So 531 is a good one. Nobody was buying jeans at that time. We're all hanging out in shorts at the house. 662. Low of this, not pre-market, but below the pre-market there. Good level at 662. And I think you're set there. Again, I don't think I don't think you'll be hitting these numbers, 531, but man, it just continues to be negative news over negative news for gap here. It's just not good at all. So that won't shock me if we do hit some of these levels today. The issue is that, they don't get great volume, so I don't think they might just get the momentum to actually move that far down. But we'll have to see. The last couple of days we've been getting 13 million shares traded, so it's not great volume for them. But let's see how that goes. Here's Tesla. Good pre-market action, especially after 7:30 a.m. this morning. Was deep in the red here. 691 has managed to get into the 700 territory here, up nicely. Slightly, not up nicely from the pre-market lows, but slightly as far as being green for the day. Only a little bit of a quarter of a percent here. 690.72 is the low of the pre-market. High of the pre-market, we are sitting at 777. So we'll slam a level there. And if you look at the bigger picture down here on the daily, tons of stuff happening up here. Wow, big red day yesterday, but tons of stuff happening up here for them. Towards the bottom, below the low of the pre-market. Let's get at least two levels. We're going to have this one here, 674, might actually be 675. And then this was a good one too. I don't think we'll get there. 650. You have a very clear level on the daily as well as far as support. But I do like this 675. If we're going to be weak for today, that could be a good area to get to. But again, right now with the run they had from 690 over to 705, looking pretty good right now. I don't think we're going to get that type of drop like we did yesterday. But we'll have to look at the overall market, the SPY, the NASDAQ, and see how this does today. A couple of mentions. Peleton we have on deck, Pepsi and Twitter, so those will be as possible today. I think they can turn out to be some really good opportunities there on these two. So all right, my friends, that is what we have so far. We got plenty of time, 15 minutes left. Not the best watch list, but there are a couple here that actually look pretty good. So we'll see how that is going to turn out in the next couple of minutes. If you haven't done so already, guys, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We are sitting at 219 likes, so I appreciate that very much. And we have 820 watching, so if you could hit that thumbs up, we'll really appreciate it a whole lot. So thank you for that. And then questions. Any questions you guys have, anything that we haven't covered? Ross, D, Jimmy giving us some tickers here for today. Let's take a look at those. We'll start with Jimmy here. Apple, AMD, and Amazon. We have those first two. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon this morning. Oh, Amazon's good. 438, up slightly, 0.5%. Starting to get moving. Is the SPY moving? Taking things. Oh, there we go. The SPY is helping some stocks out. So you're going to see Apple and the rest of the crew here start to get going. So that's nice. Apple's rallying. I mean, SPY's rallying a little bit this morning from this gap down. So trying to get into green territory as of now. So that's going to help a lot of tickers, and Amazon is a good one to watch, if the market is moving. Amazon has become actually one of these tickers that is going to be on our favorites for a while because they move well with the market, and you're seeing that now here. But if you want to talk about the king of tickers that moves well with the market, it's going to be Apple, AMD, and following right behind that, NVIDIA. These three, man, they are just your go-to. Like if I had to watch, especially during this time of the year, and even last year, if I had to pick three tickers, those would be it. And if you had to pick one, it would be Apple, right? I mean, you just can never go wrong watching these tickers over and over again. So, yes, you got a good list there, Jimmy. Baba and Neo, my buddy Baba, I haven't watched them in some time. I went from watching them almost every single day last month, but this month, not so much. Although yesterday was a good day there. Look at that. Nice drop. Baba right now... yeah, I'm not sure. This gap down was nice, good continuation. Today we might get some chop on it, just the way the daily's setting up. So I'm not really sure on Baba. We'll have to see how it plays out. Neo sitting at a good level of support here on Neo. This 21, what is this? 2055. So that's pretty nice there. That was resistance in the past, not by a lot here, but a good support the last couple of days. Are we getting a bounce here this morning? So Neo could be interesting. I like Tesla better today. To be honest, I think Tesla's doing a whole lot in this pre-market activity. So Neo could be a good possible. All right, Ross giving us B Hat. What is B Hat? I don't think we looked at this before. Blue Hat Interactive. And this, it's the reason why we haven't looked at this before. This daily is just madness here. This morning up 30%, 1.5 million shares traded. Let's go to our trading terminal. What do we have for B Hat? What is the news on this thing? Might not be here just yet because it might be just happening the last 10 minutes. If I could get my thing freeze, if I get my ticket to work here, will be nice. Looks like my machine is thinking. Maybe I'm running too much things on my machine right now. Anybody can check the news on BHAT, see what's going on there. Anybody see what's happening on BHAT? Robbie, Neo, yeah. So Neo, I looked at Neo. I think Neo could be a decent one today. I have it as a possible. I like Tesla slightly better. They got good volume, Neo, down 1.1, 187,000. That's decent for them this morning. But if the market's going to be popping like it is now, and I agree with you, Glamazon, I think that we're gonna go to our key usual suspects here. It's going to be AMD, Apple for sure. Even Tesla does very well when the market rips like this. And you also have what's the other one? Nvidia. I'm gonna add Nvidia as a possible here as well. Add Nvidia to the list. Peleton, no, I think Peleton's gonna be the sleeper today, guys. I think keep an eye on Peleton. I think that it was beat up pretty bad yesterday. You're bouncing off of 9, which has been a level of support that we bounced out of before. This one could be really interesting. So I'm gonna keep a close eye on that one. They got almost 800,000 shares traded, which is pretty good for them in the morning. Yeah, let's keep an eye on this. The best thing that can happen to Peleton is for like an Apple to buy these guys. That's the best thing that can happen to them, and hopefully it can get that done. It'll become very tradable again. Oh, it's just not me. It's Trading Terminal. Yeah. So keep in mind, guys, Trading Terminal it is a beta, so there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. We're trying to fix things, implement things. So yeah, sometimes it does take a little bit of a stress break. All right. So BHAT looks like it's working now. Let's see what we got going on here. What do I have? No, this is a Abbott Laboratories. I don't see anything specific to BHAT on here. Yeah, it's a different ticker. So I don't see anything specific to that at the moment. If anybody has something, let me know. But for the most part, I'm not seeing anything on there right now. All right, excellent, guys. I think we're all set. 9:10 Eastern time as we get ready to rock and roll this morning. I see some of the moderators putting their list together. Looking forward to that. Guys, today, before I forget, we do have an amazing guest. It's going to be over on our closing bell. He has done webinars for us before, and it's Brandon Shannon. He is really, really, really good, man. I love following him on Twitter. He puts a lot of great information, so make sure you follow him as well. He's going to be on the closing bell today. The closing bell show starts at 3:30 Eastern time, but he'll be on around 4 o'clock like our usual guests are. So again, definitely tune in for that, guys. It's going to be a fun one. This guy knows his stuff. He's been trading for a while. He's an amazing trader. So definitely look forward to having him here this morning. Not Brad, that's Brian Shannon is his name. So Brian Shannon, again, follow him on Twitter as well. He's a really, really good trader, Alpha Trends. So Alpha Trends is his handle here. So he'll be on today at 4 o'clock. Do not miss that. Artie and Andrew will be taking you through that as we interview him and talk shop a little bit. All right, let's get to our thing here. Let's go over to what do we have? Let's go to our moderators list. Let's bring this over. Let's fine tune this a little bit. As I'm doing this, guys, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We highly, highly appreciate it. And let me go ahead and actually, you know what? I'll just do this. I'll just bring over the entire chat. There we go. It's a lot faster if I just do that. Okay, here we go. So we have Dima, Go EV, Peleton, AMD, and Apple. That's a very, very good list. In fact, that should be my list. That's a very, very good list. Everything on here is on fire. Looking good this morning. Susan's looking at Apple, Tesla, and Oxy. Oxy is also very good one to have that one on deck. There's Mike's statement quote for the day, so check that one out. Mike is looking at Apple, Nvidia, Megan, AMD, Tesla, and Peleton for today as we get ready for the day. All right, so what's the news on BHAT? Tunde is telling me terminated is shelf offering. Okay, so that's positive news for them. BHAT is moving well because of that. Yeah, say hi to YouTube, guys. YouTube is on. Say hi to YouTube. If over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. We love it. We try to get a 400. Where are we? Where are we on YouTube? If I do this, you're probably going to get a nice kind of like a mirror effect on YouTube if I do this probably. We're sitting at 336. Oh, you know what? Should like my own video. Should be an example. There we go. 343. So if you can help us do that, we appreciate it very much. All right, guys, we are all set. Thank you so much for joining the pre-market prep. Brian is up next, I believe, with Thor. I think Andrew's traveling at today. So Brian and Thor will be up next, trading live for us here as we get going. So, guys, don't forget 3:30 today, closing bell with Artie. It's going to be a good one. Looking forward to this guest, Brian. It's amazing to talk to. Every time we have him on, we learn a lot, and we can see how other traders are, looking at this market and thinking about this market, which is also very helpful for us. What else we have? Okay, GoEV looks like it's moving up again. It is it? I'll stay on until Brian comes on. Brian, if you're on, just kick me off the mic. Just hop on. Yeah, GoEV here. Oh, there's the breakout. I knew it. Like Brian would say, I knew this was going to happen. It just kept slamming up here. This is what you want to see on a stock like this, right? You got this initial pop. It's just kind of, you keep slamming up against this. You're not really breaking down. Man, if I wasn't with you guys, I probably would have taken this trade. Not right here, not a perfect. Probably would have stopped out once or twice, but I definitely would have been looking for this breakout here. There it is, 455. It's probably going to be heading over to 468, which is the next level we have here on the daily. It's a daily level. Yeah, nice daily level there as well. So might get just to 460, but let's see. It looked like it's looking really good right now. Look at the volume pre-market, guys. 2.6 million just in this one candle. Here's the next 5 minute. Let's see if we can get going. GoEV looking real nice right now. So great pre-market action on GoEV here. Anyone take that trade? Anyone watching that one like a hawk and taking that? Did anyone do that? If you did, congrats. A really nice breakout. Let's see if it can hold you. Here's the key now. Can we hold? Can we hold and push through here? We want a pullback, but not too deep of a pullback where people start bailing, especially the ones that are getting in here, right? Just chasing a little bit in the hope that it's going to continue. Hopefully the pullback is not too big. Rustic took it at 422. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Risking 402. Excellent. Very good. That's a great trade. Good. Let's see. Pullback here at 450. And we are sitting at 383. Just need 17 more. We could do this. We got this. I think today's our day. We're going to hit our goal today. 400 likes. As we wait for Brian to fire up his engines over there and get going and get live, and not just fire up his engines, Brian has to also put on his shirt because he usually trades shirtless for most of the time. AMD, let's see AMD here. All right, here's the pullback on GoEV. AMD, yeah, AMD's a good one as well. Apple, yeah, Apple's trying to get going. He's trying to break out of this 145.59, which is the high of the pre-market. Nice, Andrew. Did we get it? Andrew, Texas said we got the 400. I'm not looking at it now because I switched the screen. But yeah, excellent. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. GPS, Tesla. Let's see our secondary list. Do we have anything that looks good that maybe we might replace something with here? Peleton, Pepsi, Twitter. You know what? As much as I like GPS, I think Twitter's the one I want to have here. I think that's going to be the sleeper for today. Twitter and Peleton. Both of those are going to be the ones that are going to probably surprise us. Not really much Peleton. I mean, not really much Twitter. We know Twitter's going to do something. But Peleton for sure. Peleton, I think, is one you got to keep a close eye on. That's just, I'm hoping this thing will do something today. And it looks like it has the volume, has the potential. We just got to pick a direction here, and I think we can if we can get going. Okay, let's see here. Excellent. Very good. Okay, so yes, so Twitter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I got 1, 2. Oh, I forgot to take off GPS. There we go. We'll take off GPS. I'll put it as a secondary. I think that's a really good spot for them right now. Secondary on GPS there. So that is good. Oxy, GoEV, AMD, Apple, Tesla, and Twitter. That is the list for today. Actually breaking down a little bit here towards the low of the pre-market, 57.44. That is good. That is what we want to see. And let's see, GoEV is holding, guys. You didn't get the drop here, the pullback. You know, this is good. This is real good. You're not dropping here. We've been at it for what now? For almost 3 minutes and a half. That's a good sign. Next 5 minutes could be interesting when we open up on that new candle, right? We didn't fall apart below 430. Let's see how that next 5 minute open is going to tell a lot whether we're going to continue to rip higher. It looks like the buyers are holding this thing, and we might get going here. So that is looking real good. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys. We did get that 400. Robert, yes, me and Andrew, me and Norm. If we hit 400 likes every day on the show, we get gas for the Lamborghini. So that's what we push for 400. So if you do that, we get a bonus. So that's why we push so hard. Just kidding. No, we don't do that at all. We actually don't get anything for pushing for 400. It just feels good to get 400. There's nothing that we get. So thank you guys. Yep. It's a share Lambo though. Yes, I have one half. He has the second half. So we only drive when we get together. Absolutely. All right, guys. I don't know where Brian is. I'm stalling. I'm stalling for Brian as we watch GoEV here. But Brian might not be. Oh, there's Brian. He just joined the chat, so he'll be going on shortly here. Our buddy will be taking over for us in just a second before this conversation really starts going south. All right, GoEV, here it is. I want to see the five. Okay, here's the new 5 minute on GoEV. Let's see what we're doing here. This could be interesting right now. Let's see if we're gonna get to that 468. Let's see where the buyers are at. Let's see where the level 2. I'm just gonna bring this down a little bit. We have a couple of people hanging out at 455. Not bad, not huge, but we got some people there. Some asks sitting there. It's taking too long. I'd love for that to happen quickly, but it's taking too long. Let's see. Yeah, that's not good. That need to happen like boom, 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 boom. Right now, it's probably not ideal, but yeah, looking good. This is gonna be a good one for today, man. Really strong, up 90% now. Wow. I love stocks that have a catalyst. No shorts on GoEB. Yeah, no shorts. It is on short selling restriction because they had a rough day yesterday. So it's funny. It's ripping 90% on short selling restriction, right? But I think this is one you want to be very careful shorting. All right, here is Brian's list before he comes on live. He's looking at Indo, NVAX, Lucid, Tesla, and FCX this morning. He'll be on in just a second, so I will make way for him to turn on his mic and get going. And guys, over on YouTube, thank you so much for helping us to get to, what did we do? Did we do 400 likes? We did 450. Wow, you guys are really going to give me a bonus. 450. Thank you guys. Appreciate that very much. See you guys tomorrow. Do not forget, 3:30 today, closing bell. We are having Brian Shannon on. It's going to be a good one. I'll see you in chat then. Let's have a conversation and have some fun. Take care, guys, and trade safe. See you tomorrow. Well, no, see you at 3:30.